Dear friend, have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, replaying conversations in your mind, feeling weighed down by the judgments and opinions of others? You are not alone. From ancient philosophers to modern psychologists, humanity has long wrestled with the question of how to maintain inner peace when the world outside seems determined to shake us. In this audio journey, we will explore proven strategies, timeless wisdom, and practical exercises to help you stand firm in your own truth, no matter what anyone else thinks. 1. Understanding the power of other people's opinions. Before we can resist being swayed by others, we must first understand why opinions affect us so deeply. Evolutionary roots. As social creatures, humans evolved to depend on cooperation and acceptance within a group. Being ostracized could mean life or death. Today, that same instinct pushes us to seek approval and fear rejection, even when our survival no longer hinges on it. The ego's vulnerability. Your ego, the sense of I, thrives on validation. Praise feels like nourishment, criticism like poison. When someone disapproves of us, it feels as though our very identity is under attack. The illusion of consensus. We often assume that if many people share an opinion, it must be valid. Yet popularity does not equal truth. Historical examples from geocentrism to outdated social norms show that collective belief can be deeply flawed. By recognizing these psychological mechanisms, you gain the first edge, awareness. When you realize that your reaction to opinion is wired into your brain and not an unchangeable truth, you open the door to choice. 2. Stoic foundations. What others think is none of your business. The Stoic philosophers of ancient Greece and Rome mastered emotional resilience through a radical reframing of external events. Dichotomy of Control. Epictetus famously taught that we have power over our own thoughts and actions, but nothing over what others think or say. Focus your energy on your own judgments and behaviors. Those are within your control. Indifference to indifference. Stoics categorized external things, wealth, reputation, praise, blame, as indifference. They could be preferred or dispreferred, but never essential to a good life. By treating others' opinions as indifferent, you neutralize their emotional impact. Premeditation of adversity. Seneca recommended imagining the worst-case scenario: public embarrassment, criticism, so that when it happens, the shock is reduced. This mental rehearsal builds a shield of equanimity. By adopting the Stoic mindset, you anchor yourself in inner virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, rather than the shifting tides of public opinion. 3. Cognitive techniques. Rewriting your inner script. Modern cognitive behavioral practices offer powerful tools to transform how you interpret others' words. Detecting automatic thoughts. Notice the immediate negative thought. They think I'm incompetent. I must have embarrassed myself. Write it down. Seeing it on paper makes it less overwhelming. Challenging and reframing. Ask, is this thought 100% true? Could there be alternative explanations? Perhaps they were distracted or speaking from their own insecurities. Reframe, their comment says more about them than about me. Developing balanced responses. Instead of catastrophizing, everyone must think badly of me. Craft balanced statements. Some may disagree, and that's okay. Practice self-compassion. I deserve kindness 7 from myself. Regularly applying these steps weakens the automatic loop between negative feedback and emotional turmoil, giving you choice over your reaction. 4. Building a healthy identity beyond external validation. If your sense of self rests on the fluctuating opinions of others, you will always be unbalanced. Cultivate an identity anchored in your core values. Identify your core values. List the principles that truly matter: honesty, creativity, empathy, learning. Rank them. When criticism touches a low-ranked value, it hurts less. Public versus private self. Draw 2 circles, one for how you present yourself publicly, one for your private virtues and aspirations. Focus your pride on the inner circle character, effort, growth, rather than the outer circle of image and status. Celebrate personal progress. Keep a journal of daily wins. Small acts of courage, moments of kindness, tasks completed. When you track your own progress, you rely less on external applause. A robust identity built on inner values becomes your fortress against the ebb and flow of popular opinion. 5. Practical exercises. Strengthening your emotional muscles. Like physical training, emotional resilience requires regular practice. Here are actionable exercises to integrate into your life. Daily reflection. At night, ask yourself, what opinions affected me today? How did I respond? Acknowledge your successes and identify areas for improvement. Stoic journaling. Morning meditation. Spend 5 minutes each morning visualizing potential critiques or challenges. Mentally rehearse a calm, reasoned response to each. Feedback experiment. Invite honest feedback from a trusted friend or colleague on a specific project. View it as data for growth, not a verdict on your worth. Invisible audience imagery. When facing a crowd or social media comments, close your eyes and picture an invisible audience. Remind yourself, you can't see them, you don't know them, their opinions carry no automatic authority. Mindful detachment. When you receive a comment online or in person, pause. Take 3 deep breaths. Ask, is this helpful feedback or is it noise? Respond only if it's useful. With consistent practice, you shift from a reactive stance to a reflective one. 6. Cultivating compassion for others and yourself. Resilience isn't about building walls. It's about developing healthy boundaries grounded in empathy. Understanding the critic. Often, harsh criticism stems from the critic's own insecurities or pressures. When you view criticism as a reflection of their state of mind, it loses its sting. Responding with kindness. If a comment is unfair but non-malicious, thank the person and say you'll consider their perspective. If the comment is mean-spirited, respond with silence or a brief, respectful note. Self-compassion practices. When you feel hurt, place a hand on your heart and say, "This is hard right now. May I be gentle with myself." Repeat, "I am more than the sum of others' opinions." Compassion for others prevents their words from poisoning your peace. Compassion for yourself heals the wounds of criticism. 7. Real-world stories. Learning from those who thrived. Nelson Mandela. Imprisoned for decades, he emerged without bitterness, focusing on reconciliation rather than revenge. He refused to let his jailer's opinions define his legacy. J.K. Rowling faced multiple rejections before Harry Potter found a publisher. She kept believing in her story, disregarding the verdicts of early critics. Viktor Frankl survived Nazi concentration camps by finding meaning beyond his circumstances. His inner values became impervious to the dehumanizing opinions around him. These examples remind us that greatness often begins when we stop seeking universal approval and start living by our own compass. 8. Integrating the practice. Your 30-day challenge. To make these ideas stick, commit to a structured practice over the next month. Week 1. Awareness, reflection. Track every instance when others' opinions affect you. Journal your reactions. Week 2. Cognitive reframing. Apply the challenge reframe technique to at least one negative thought daily. Week 3. Stoic visualization. Do a 5-minute morning Stoic meditation each day. Week 4. Compassionate engagement. Offer constructive feedback to one person. Practice self-compassion daily. By the end of 30 days, you'll notice a shift, a calmer mind, fewer sleepless nights, and a growing confidence that no one else's voice can drown out your own. 9. Conclusion. Your inner anchor. Dear friend, the path to freedom from the opinions of others is neither quick nor effortless, but it is profoundly rewarding. Each moment you choose to turn inward, focusing on your judgments, values, and actions, you reclaim your power. As you practice awareness, reframe criticism, and cultivate compassion, you build an unshakable inner anchor. Remember, opinions are like passing clouds. They may drift across your sky, but they do not dictate the direction of your journey. Thank you for listening. May you walk forward with courage, wisdom, and the serenity that comes from living on your own terms. Stay strong, stay true, and above all, stay free.